The government's facing further criticism for the delay to the National Broadband Plan. Yesterday, the Communications Minister Richard Bruton confirmed a decision won't be taken this week as had been expected. The final and sole tender for the project to provide broadband to more than 500,000 homes is being examined. Mayo Sinn Féin Senator Rose Conway-Walsh says the National Broadband Plan was a promise in the 2011 Fine Gael manifesto and says it's now time to show they're serious about delivering it.
Well, I'm absolutely dismayed that the words and the platitudes that they're giving around broadband and continue to give around broadband don't match the actions. If this really was a priority for government, they would have it at the cabinet meeting today as they promised, but now they've taken it off the table. Obviously, they don't think that it's important enough, and that makes me absolutely outraged. This is a betrayal of rural Ireland, but it's not just a betrayal now, Michael D. It's decades of betrayal on rural Ireland. You know, they know that broadband is probably the single biggest issue that is losing jobs in rural Ireland and that is losing opportunities for employment. And yet they don't think that it's important enough to bring it to the cabinet table as they promised they would today.
And that's why the Minister said yesterday that the reason they are taking so much time is because it is such a substantial investment. The final and sole tender for the project, as you said, it's huge. It's to provide broadband to more than 500,000 homes. It seems to be taking far too long,
It is, and it's not rocket science, This isn't just that it's been delayed by weeks, it's been delayed by decades. I mean, if we look back to what was done first around, the whole sell-off, the whole lack of foresight by Fianna Fáil in the sell-off of our main telecommunications organisation and company. They sold it off to leave us at the behest of private providers. The whole thing of Eircom and Eircom being stripped of its assets and being owned now by a multi-billionaire in France. We are at the behest of that to try and get a very, very basic infrastructure of broadband for rural Ireland. And now we see again that the Minister is promising the whole debacle around it, that we have just one provider now. So we are totally reliant on one provider to provide broadband from rural Ireland. And basically, Michael D., they can demand whatever they like. This was supposed to be 500 million, but it could go up to billions. It just shows that the government that we have now and the previous governments that we have don't have the capacity or the capability or the willingness to support rural Ireland. It's all the platitudes and it's all the niceties and everything else and, rural Ireland and we care about people in rural Ireland. I basically think they don't give a damn about people in rural Ireland. It's just an add-on, an afterthought in all of these things. Last year, the Minister said that there was 80 civil servants and consultants were working on behalf of the government on the broadband project. He said it would be delivered. He said it was a personal crusade for him. But I don't believe him. And I, like many, many people in rural Ireland, are absolutely fed up of the excuses. Now I think that, we have local and we have European elections coming up and they want to take it off the table again before those elections so that once again they can fool people into thinking, well, we're doing something about this. We're going to deliver it. We're going to deliver high-speed broadband. But I don't believe that they are. I don't believe they have a genuine approach to rural Ireland. We have seen this across the post offices, the schools, the people with disabilities, children waiting for Spinraza at the moment as well. All of these things, the beef crisis, all of that, they are not serving the people of rural Ireland. And people in rural Ireland need to wake up and see that neither this government, nor the last government, nor the previous government under Fianna Fáil have served rural Ireland in the way that we deserve to be treated. We pay our taxes as well as everybody else. Nobody says to us, you're living in rural Ireland, so you can pay less tax, or you don't have to do this, or you don't have to do that. I pointed out last week the hundreds of millions of euro that we were given to the banks, with the tax breaks that are there. So let them not tell me that they don't have the money to do it and resources are scarce and all of that. We can give tax breaks that allows banks and vulture funds and other institutions to get off without paying any tax. Meanwhile, we have small and medium businesses struggling in rural Ireland, people who want to set up their own businesses, who are absolutely crucified with tax and with rates, and yet they're not given a basic infrastructure like broadband. This has to stop.